Welcome back to another Five to Thrive. I'm Scott Kutcher, and today we're going to talk a little bit about real labor costs. What do I mean by that? Well, I was recently in a sign shop talking to production manager and one of the owners, and we started talking about their labor cost and the expense of some of the products that we have being a little more expensive on the front end. And I was talking about how much time it's saving them on the back end, and it's going to add to their bottom line margin. And they were kind of challenging me, which of course they should. And as they challenged me, I just asked a simple question. What's your real labor cost? What do you mean? So, well, if you're paying your people $15 an hour, what's your real labor cost? Well, it's like 15, $16 an hour. I'm like, no, it's not just $1 more. You go, what do you mean? I go, by the time you're done with workman's comp, you're done with taxes that go along with that employee, your state, all that kind of stuff, your corporate taxes, your average is going to be between 1.25 and 1.4 times the amount of what you're paying them. So for example, if you're paying them $15 an hour, you take that, you times that times 1.25, you're going to come out to $18.75 an hour. It's considerably more. But that's not the average, that's the low end. The average is 1.4. So if you take it and times it times 1.4, now you're at $21 an hour for a $15 an hour employee. That's what your real costs are. That's not even including overhead and some other things that you want to factor into that labor rate to make sure that you're making money. They looked at each other and they looked at me and they were like, okay, I thought we factored all that in. And when they started looking into it while I was standing there, they didn't. So now all of a sudden, my too expensive product became a time saver, became a money maker, and started adding to their bottom margin. Right? So their bottom line margin grew in that process through the calculations, especially when you start taking into account the extra product being used to make something work that wasn't supposed to fit in the application they had, et cetera, et cetera. So again, really take a moment and think through, what is your real labor cost? Don't take it for granted because you may live in an area or you employ younger people that don't need as much money or whatever your model is. Hey, it doesn't matter how much you're paying them, unless it does. And when it comes to real labor cost, it really matters because it's much more than what you're paying them when you add all the other factors into it. So until next time, sign on.